everybody, it's the 13th Wolfman. You know what today is? Today is another Brother Max challenge. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. But, actually, it's something a little bit special. We've added a new player to the game. I am the Icelord. I don't know if you know who I am the Icelord is, but I am the Icelord. We invited him to come along with this journey with us and play the game. So he'll be around from now on until he doesn't want to do it anymore or we stop doing it. So there you go. I am the Icelord, Brother Max over at the one and only MSJ. The links will be down below to check them out. And myself playing the Brother Max challenge. If you don't know what the Brother Max challenge is, then it's basically we just set up a criteria. We just kind of go, hey, show me a movie that, and then there's a criteria there, and then that person's got to show the movie, and then they come up with a new criteria, and then we have to do it back, and it's just us sharing what we have in our collections, and we have a lot of really weird stuff in our collections because we're all horror fans, but we're all movie fans too. And before we get started, like, subscribe, share, and comment. I always want to know what you have to say. When you do subscribe, hit that bell. That way you'll be notified anytime I put something new up. And let's get on with it. So, last time around, I asked Brother Max to show me the movie that connected to his DNA in his lifetime, or not in his lifetime, in his youth. You know, so between the ages of birth to the age of 12, his youth, that connected to his DNA that made him more of a movie fan. And I haven't done mine yet, so here it is. I was like 8 years old when this movie came out. I think, yeah, I saw it at the drive-in, and I've talked about this many times. This movie freaked my older brother out. And for some reason, I mean, there's all these really cool horror movies out there, you know. It's the 70s, and I'd seen The Exorcist, you know, at the theater with my mom when I was 6 years old, and I'd seen all these other movies. And then when this one came out, I was like, wow, that was really good. It's one of my favorites. When people ask me what my favorite horror movie is, this is one that comes up quite a bit, and that's The Omen. This movie didn't freak me out, but it just attached itself to my DNA and made me love movies a little bit more than I already did by the time I saw it. And it just, wow. Gregory Peck, Lee Remick. I mean, they're up in age, you know. It's like people are going, what's Gregory Peck doing in a horror film? Knocking it out of the park, man. There's a scene in this, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, the jackal scene. That's all I'm going to say. This is my favorite scene of the movie, and it's just creepy beyond creepy. So that's my answer to my question. The movie that attached itself to my DNA, The Omen. This is the collector's edition. I have an old box set of this, you know, so that's the answer to mine. Now I need to answer Brother Max. And Brother Max said, you know, if you could put together a trilogy of anything, what would it be? It could be a trilogy of horror films, non-related horror films, you know, that might all be, all deal with witchcraft somehow, or they might all be zombie films, but they're not connected. Or maybe an actor like, you know, Mel Brooks, or Dane Cook, or, you know, something that connects them all together. Or maybe it's just, you know, they're all westerns. You know, there's a enormous amount of ways to put this together. And when he asked this, I said, I know exactly what I'm going to do for my trilogy. I knew this from the minute he asked this. I'm like, something I've always loved as a kid, growing up. And, yeah, so I'll put together the trilogy of NASA. NASA, you say? Yes! I'm going to start it off with one of my favorite movies, The Right Stuff. This is all about the Mercury 7. You know, It starts off with Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier, you know, and then it goes into them recruiting the Mercury 7, and this is such an awesome film. This is an old snapper case. You see that? Look at that. That's an old snap. That's how long I've had this damn film. Wow. But I need to upgrade this. I need to get it on Blu-ray. I love this movie. This is the first. So you start here, right? But if you wanted to, you could start just a little bit before that. Another awesome film. Whenever this movie is on or on cable or something, or I always flip it on to see where they're at because I love the story. This is the story of Homer Hickam, a little country bumpkin kid that comes from a coal mining town that has no, according to the rest of the town, he has no future except for in coal mining, you know? And he sees it a little bit differently. He wants to find something bigger for himself. Doesn't disrespect the coal mining company. That you know, his dad works there, his brother works there, but he wants more for his life. He wants to get out of this little coal town, you know? And he finds a way to do it by building rockets. So this is about Homer Hickam and the Rocket Boys, and it's October Sky. And if you haven't seen this movie, shame on you. No, just kidding. But this is an awesome film. Homer Hickam and his three buddies are just, I mean, they're not losers, but they're just in this little town where unless you're working at the coal mine or doing something like being a barber, you know, something that actually produces a little bit of revenue around the area, or being a school teacher, there's not a whole lot for you. And Homer and his friends start building rockets, model rockets, blowing them off. His dad does not understand this. His dad is a company man, works for the coal mining company, and that's it. He doesn't get it. And all Homer wants to do is dream, and he wants to dream big. And whether you believe it or not, Homer Hickam winds up going to work for NASA. Yeah. This is one of the coolest movies ever. This one just gets me every time I watch it. Love this movie. Jake Gyllenhaal, by the way. Yeah. Young Jake Gyllenhaal. So, the first movie is The Right Stuff. The first movie is The Right Stuff, about the Mercury 7. The second movie is The October Sky, about Homer Hickam and help developing the rocket and propulsion and all that stuff. The third movie is about, well, what do you know? The First Man. That's right. Ryan Gosling, who I just don't get it. I don't understand how this guy keeps getting parts. He always seems to be sedated in whatever part he plays. He just seems very to me. But this is a cool movie. It's, again, you know, we have the first man in space. You know, first man to go to the moon. But yeah, this is a very cool movie. I love this movie too. There was another choice I could have went with. That would have been Apollo 13. You know, Ron Howard just nailed it with Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, Kevin Bacon. You know, in that film, it just I thought about going that way, but I thought, let's all make them uplifting stories, and we'll go First Man. Yeah, well, that's an uplifting story. They get back, but still. Yeah, so First Man, October Sky, The Right Stuff. There you go. That's my brother Max Trilogy. You know, if I was gonna put something together for a day and watch them, that's what it would be. Now to I Am the Icelord. He asked a similar question. He goes, "Well, put together a trilogy, but what would be the trippiest trilogy?" And I don't know if Trippy is. I don't know if I really completed this task. I can only think of like one movie that's like really bizarre. That's the first movie. The other ones are just kind of like, they're just weird. So, answer to this question is, the first one would be Blue Sunshine. If you want to watch a movie that makes no sense and that's just a complete mind bender, Blue Sky, or Blue Sunshine, I mean, Blue Sky. Sunshine. It is one of the weirdest movies ever. I don't really... I haven't watched this since I got this years ago. I got this as a review copy. I reviewed it. I talked about it, but I don't think I've put it in since then. Just because it's just a little out there. Second is a Larry Cohen film put out by Blue Underground. And that, I think it's a Larry Cohen film. Yeah, it's a Larry Cohen film. And it's just that the story is just really bizarre. I don't know if it belongs in the Trippy category, but God Told Me to Kill. Wow. I love Larry Cohen. This is just one of those really, really weird... This has got a weird story to it. I mean, this sniper just goes on a killing spree, and his defense is, God told me to kill. And it's just really odd. This is an old copy again. This has got a commentary with Larry Cohen. So, if you don't know who Larry Cohen is, watch the movie King of Cohen. I mean, he's put out tons of stuff, including The Stuff. It's Alive, It's Alive 2, It's Alive 3, The Stuff, God Told Me to Kill, Q, The Winged Serpent. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff that you probably got some of his stuff in your collection. If you're a horror fan, don't even realize it. But there you go. God Told Me to Kill. And then the last one is a personal favorite from when I was a kid. Always watched it. But there's one scene in here where they're dropping acid, and it's just kind of, they're in a cemetery, just kind of bizarre, and that is Easy Rider. Easy Rider with Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper. I just found this out. I didn't realize it, but in this movie, Dennis Hopper is kind of dressed as, dressed hippie-ish. Not a big deal. But I never really paid attention to the look he had. I guess it turns out that he modeled his look after Dave Crosby of Crosby, Stills, Nash. I look at it now, I'm like, oh wow, I guess he does look like David Crosby. It never even clicked. I thought he just was a guy with long hair and a mustache, to be honest. But Easy Rider, they drop acid in this church, and Peter Fonda's flipping out, Dennis Hopper's flipping out, they got the hookers with them. It's just a really, really weird scene. So that would be my trilogy for trippiest movies. Now, I need to ask a challenge, and that would be all the movies in your collection to I Am the Icelord and Brother Max. What has the oddest packaging? I mean, yeah, we got steel books and we got snapper cases and stuff like that. But is there a edition that you have that might be a box set that's like really, really kind of like the Hell Comes to Frogtown? That's got a really odd, box to it. Or something else. I mean, just I got mine in mine, but I just want to see what you guys have to say, so please answer the challenge. As always, I said it before, like, subscribe, share, and comment. Yeah, I am the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.